2019, a new competition was born. As the year continued, more and more hopefuls continued to do battle with its 4 stages, hoping for a champion. While everyone gave it their best efforts, glory was achieved in its final tournament before closing off the autumn, now with the champion on top of the mountain. Following that, the beast lay dormant. Until now. Robloxian SASUKE is back and it's better than ever. A brand new course lies in waiting, filled with both old obstacles that have defined our community and fresh and innovative obstacles that will toy with our competitors' skills. Can anyone in our Elite Field 100 challenges conquer all 4 stages and take home the 1,000 Robux grand prize that goes with it? They'll have 1 shot, 1 goal, and 1 dream. The classic course may be long gone, but like always, there's something new hiding beneath the ruins. This is Robloxian SASUKE. The long-awaited return has finally arrived. My name is Jamie Dorino, and welcome to Robloxian SASUKE Tournament 1. Today, we'll be seeing the first 30 competitors begin their quest for glory. Any competitors who are able to clear advance onwards to our season finale later. And here are 30 competitors now. They'll all be vying for a chance to prove their worth on this course. Every competitor is beginning their journey on the same place, the first stage. The first stage is the first roadblock our competitors will encounter. Finish and you're through, fall and you're out. The marathon begins on the first obstacle, the quintuple steps. Navigate your way through a series of 4 angled platforms to reach the other side. After that may be the trickiest obstacle on the first stage, the silk slider. Competitors must hang on to 2 parallel silks and let go of them at the right time to reach the small landing platform. Once you're through that, you're onto the quarter bridge, where you try not to lose your balance as the bridge collapses from underneath your feet. Following that is going to be the swinging forest, where competitors will jump from a trampoline into a set of ropes, which our competitors must cross before making it to its end, where they have to make its tricky dismount. Next up is all reliable, the Sorry Tots Cabe. Competitors will have as many attempts as the time limit allows to beat that wall. The final 2 obstacles are combined, beginning with the Tarzan rope, where they'll have to have a good grip on the rope as it crashes into the wall. Immediately following that is the Tarzan Abori, where competitors will use whatever strength they have left to climb the rope. If any competitors can scale the rope and hit the button at the end of the course within the 75-second time limit, then they're through to the second stage and will be 1 step closer to Kansen Seiha. Alrighty, now that we know what challenges our competitors will be facing, it's time for them to run. As we know, there'll be 100 of them, and our first competitor is eagerly awaiting his chance to run. Slowly popping his head over the rocks and onto the starting mat is our first competitor, and XX Usen. He has a history of failing relatively early on courses, and he's hoping that today will be his lucky day. Although he does say time to die, which may mean he's unconfident about his run. Hopefully it's not the case as the countdown begins, and so does his run. We have officially begun Tournament 1. Has a nice jump through the quintuple steps and is making nice work of the obstacle as he slowly progresses through it. Might need to pick up the pace if he stands a chance of clearing, as this time limit is a little bit strict. Now he gets through his silk slider and is on a better pace now as he approaches the third obstacle, the quarter bridge. 50 seconds are on the clock as he takes a second to collect himself before attempting it, and he's through it nicely. He's now onto the swinging forest, which is one of the few obstacles in this competition that have yet to be seen on any course. So he's going to need to make his best attempt so far. And oh no! He gets a bad landing on the second rope, and unfortunately it dumps him into the water. Our first competitor has splashed down at the hands of the swinging forest, but still had an amazing run nevertheless. Our next competitor is a familiar face if you ever partook in one of my online Big Brother competitions. It's Season 4 winner, NHL Boy 09. He's not the best at obstacle courses and was never spectacular in any of the physical competitions in Big Brother Robloxia, so he could be at a disadvantage. He's preparing to face the course, and now he is off. He's now walking off the starting mat to face his first challenge, the quintuple steps. Mounts onto it easily, but is now trying to get himself at the bottom of each step so he can navigate his way through the course. Taking a bit more time than recommended. Remember, the time limit is only 75 seconds, but it's through the obstacle nevertheless. He's now facing the silk slider, which he may have a few jitters about, as he did undershoot the lane. Oh, doesn't really matter anymore as he's through the— oh no, it does! Josh falls in between the platforms, and he touches the water, and just like that, his run is over. Stepping up to the start line is the first of many notable hosts to run this competition. It's Gavin, 80Y346. However, many people know him as Agent. Agent is known for his competition agent SASUKE and his repetitive asking for anyone to run his courses. He hasn't done the best in many competitions, so this could be the big break he's looking for. Standing at the starting line, he's now off of it, is now on the quintuple steps. No, oh no! Agent! Oh, he left the game too. Agent falls embarrassingly far from his goal of Condensea, and he's fled the game entirely because of it. He's out, and he knows it. Our fourth competitor to brave the course has been growing in skill in both Roblox and also real life. This is Survivor_Fan09, who has been creeping up into the list of contenders to make it deep into many competitions. Alongside that, he also competes in many real-life ninja competitions such as the UNAA and the World Ninja League. Hopefully that experience correlates well into the course as he begins his run and is now already onto the silk slider. Only Andrew has beaten this obstacle so far, and Xander is looking to become the second, and he is! Xander is now through the silk slider, and now he's onto the quarter bridge. Timing is everything in this obstacle, as he's going to make sure to jump onto every obstacle, and oh no! Xander does not jump onto the second half of the bridge. He jumps on the first half, but it's too late, comes up short, and falls into the water. Lil Ninja 483 is a relatively unknown competitor, but he's making a big impression so far as he's the second competitor today to make it to the swinging forest. He hesitates and oh no! He doesn't maintain his grip on the first set of ropes and falls into the water. What a shame! Flee the facility 63987 has had a slow pace up to this point as he's now going down the silk slider. He's going to need to make sure that he times the dismount, but oh no! He lands in between the platforms and is unable to save himself on it, and he's very disappointed about that. I Am Possum 197 needs to show that they are exactly that as they approach the quintuple steps. Considering they are sharks, it's going to be pretty difficult for them not to go in the water, but they do exactly that! I Am Possum 197 joins their aquatic friends under the water as they come up short on the transition to the third step. What an unfortunate end to their run. The next competitor to run has made quite the impression on this course already. It's Mr. Peoria Hart. Despite only competing in one mini, he made a name for himself, being the first competitor in any mini up until that point to reach the third stage. Although he failed early on the first obstacle, he showed his potential and is now looking for a repeat run up until that point. Now that he's inspirationally said yellow and yellow egg before his run, it's time for him to begin. Got a decently sized crowd following him in the background as he makes it through the quintuple steps in what's been the cleanest attempt yet out of any competitor. He steps up to face his silk slider, which has shown its deadly tendencies already, but it doesn't look like that's phasing him as he gets a nice landing and is through the obstacle. 56 seconds are left on the clock as he's racing towards the third obstacle, the quarter bridge. Even though it's been an easy obstacle in practice, it's already shown that it can't be taken for granted, as Xander shockingly lost his footing on it. However, he gets through it without a problem and is now onto the swinging forest. It currently stands at a 0 for 2 clear rate, so hopefully that'll change with this run. He gets a great bounce on the obstacle and is now on a mission to navigate himself through where Andrew would come up short. He's working his way through the obstacle nicely and is now into the final few sets of ropes with around 30 seconds remaining. He's now onto the dismount, which can be the hardest parts of the obstacle if you don't have the best technique. He's through! He will now be the first competitor to attempt the Soritotsuka Bay. This obstacle now is a 4-second barrier that'll show up that will require competitors to spend more time on it if they can't get up it in one attempt like what just happened there. However, he's going back to face it again and gets through it. He's finally up and over the wall as he's on to the final two obstacles, but time is not in his favor. He's going to need to rush up this rope if he stands any chance of clearing. The klaxon is down, but oh no! He flies off the rope! Oh no! He was so close to becoming the first competitor to clear this first stage, but a simple mistake sends him plummeting into the water below. He's walking over to the crowd, who is in just as much shock as we are. If we look back at the replay of his run, his slow pace throughout the swinging forest caught up to him on the Soritotsuka Bay when he took 2 attempts on it. He was obviously rushing to get up the rope, and he didn't move his character far enough in so that he wouldn't jump on the climbing animation. That exact thing happens, and he was unable to recover from it, and Mr. Peoria Hart's run ends painfully short of the second stage. Up next is probably the most well-known runner to run at this point. It's She's VIP. Since 2021, She's been involved in a notorious number curse, where he has been locked in as the 9th runner to run in many of the courses he's ran, despite his skill. And with that, one of the commentators for SASUKE Dynamite is off and is approaching the quintuple steps. Cheese hasn't put in that much practice, but his natural talent should serve to benefit him going into this run. He went on the edge of each step and is now through the obstacle and is now on the silk slider, which is very similar to an obstacle featured in the most recent tournament of SASUKE Dynamite. He's sliding all over the place, and oh no! Cheese is unable to find solid ground on the obstacle as he slides off the platform. Shockingly, Cheese is out on just the second obstacle of the first stage. What an unfortunate end to his run this tournament, and hopefully he'll be able to avenge this fail next time. Our 10th runner has an interesting relationship with this course. This is 0_transition, better known as Jessica. She's known in the online Big Brother communities, but has recently been dipping her toes into Robloxian through this competition. However, it's yet to produce a good turnout. In all 3 minis that Jessica competed in, she splashed down on the quintuple steps in all of her attempts. She's hoping that today that can change, considering she's put in extensive practice for the quintuple steps. The countdown begins to sound, and Jessica's chance of revenge is here. She's onto a run. Jessica now mounts onto the first step, not getting too low, but it's not looking like that's going to harm her yet. Jessica now gets onto the 4th, and Jessica has beaten the first obstacle. She's now onto uncharted territory, where she's going to need to capitalize on her newfound success, but oh no! Jessica doesn't get onto the landing platform, and her amazing run ends. Following that historic run, we have our next competitor, Tran52. He's making his Robloxian debut with this competition, so hopefully he can set a name for himself. Although he is looking away from the course itself, so he's going to need to be more focused if he wants a chance to clear. And oh, he must be really unconfident in himself because he just took another look at the course before turning back again. He can't take forever being nervous for his run because that's beginning now. He hesitates a bit before going, but is now onto it. But oh no! He misses the transition at the second, but oh, he's going for the no. He misses the transition. Oh no, and he misses the 4th. Tran fails the transition into every single step. Up next is a competitor who has put in a lot of practice for this run. It's Gonzalez 417. He's been very eager to get a run in for this tournament, and now it's time for it. He's running around a bit before his run, but now his run is here. He's stepping up to face the quintuple steps, and he's onto it nicely. Now the second is now preparing to make the 3rd, but oh! He almost goes down there, but barely is able to survive and is now onto the silk slider. He's been very nervous with the obstacle in particular, but now it's time to shake. Oh no! He almost fails on the second obstacle as well. Gone on a nail-biting run so far as he's onto only just the 3rd obstacle. I can only imagine what's going through his head right now and how much his heart has to be racing. He's through the quarter bridge nicely with a unique stratagem going on top, and now he's onto the swinging forest. Gets a nice bounce in, but oh no! He's unable to keep his grip on the first set of rope and unfortunately splashes down. Our next competitor is one of the biggest names in the community right now and has a large group of supporters with him on the starting line. The 13th competitor to run the first stage is Yas1234551. Yas is very known for his competition Yasuke, which recently got revived and is now currently in the editing process for his 4th tournament. Alongside that, Yas is a very skilled competitor, going deep in many competitions and proving that he is a legitimate threat to win in any competitions he runs. Being both a talented host and competitor, can Yas capitalize on the success and become the first challenger to break through to the 2nd stage? He's hyping up his friends at the starting line, and hopefully that won't be in vain. We all want to see Yas succeed, and hopefully he will now, as they're all going to jump around before his run begins. He's also got a large crowd of people watching his run from a distance as the countdown begins, and so does his run. Yas is now going onto the quintuple steps, and he's getting a nice approach so far, making sure to utilize every inch of space given on the obstacle. And now Yas is onto the silk slider. We've already seen many notable names fall victim to this obstacle, and hopefully Yas doesn't add his name to that list. He's now sliding down, but gets off of it nicely. Doesn't have a scare like Gon did, but oh no! He does have a scare. He gets a rebound off of the obstacle, nearly goes down. That was an amazing save by Yas. And now he's onto the quarter bridge with 45 seconds remaining. Swiftly made his way through that obstacle and is now on the swinging forest. He's now he hesitates a bit, but is now going back to face the obstacle again. Now he's on a mission to navigate himself through where the previous few competitors have fallen. He's nicely getting his way through the obstacle and is now approaching the final few sets of ropes. Yas is now on the final few sets of ropes and makes the dismount. And now Yas is on the Sori Tatsukabe with around 22 seconds. Oh, and he gets up it in one! Not just one attempt, one jump. He's now put himself on an amazing pace to clear as he's onto the final obstacle with around 13 seconds remaining. He's going to reach the top now. He reaches the top. The time doesn't matter. And yes! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 has become the first competitor to clear the first stage, doing so with 9.6 seconds remaining. And here comes friends to help celebrate his run as we look back on his run. Yas only had one trouble spot throughout his entire run, and that was on the silk slider. However, he recovered nicely from it and was able to get through the rest of the course with relative ease. Him getting up to Sori Tatsukabe in one attempt really helped his run time-wise, and now we're going to be seeing Yas continue his dream of Kanzenseiya into the second stage. Well done to Yas. With someone now proving that the course can be done, let's see if Nader5682 can continue this trend of success that Yas started. He's been very excited to do a run, so hopefully he puts in a good one. The countdown begins and his timer starts and he just stands there. He's not going, he's just looking at the course and just standing there. Does he not realize that he's supposed to go? He's already blown 15 seconds and he's not moving at all. I genuinely don't think his run's already began, even with the numerous amount of people telling them it has. Oh, he finally gets going, but he's down 20 seconds already, but and he disqualifies himself by skipping one of the steps. All that waiting for him to make an easily available mistake by just reading the rules. Biotech_Soldier Z is going to need to put his training to good use if he stands a chance of clearing. Now preparing to make the trip to the— oh no, and he misses the third step, and he drowns in the water. Soul Survivor Pro 123 has had a lot of excitement for this run as he faces the Silk Slider. He's had a few nerves for this obstacle, but it looks like those aren't going to be a problem. Oh, they are! He fails in between the platform. Jameis Taj just barely gets himself onto the Silk Slider, but is now beginning to slide down the track. We've seen numerous people fail this obstacle already, and he gets onto the platform, but he is sliding every which way. Can't really seem to find solid ground, he falls. Jameis Taj unable to move on. She's a big name in the Big Brother online communities. Can big name Hammy provide herself a big name here as well? She's sliding down the track and now she lands on it now, but is now prepared. Oh no! Hammy becomes yet another person to fall in between the platforms. Hopefully getting hyped up by later competitor VCora Kiwix, Alfor_VR370 is able to provide a good run. He's finally begun and is now approaching the first step, which he gets onto and is now making it onto the second. Has a little bit of a slow pace so far, but oh no! Alpha misses the third step. Our 20th competitor has quite the avatar. This is Guava Poopy Goopy, whose name might be the only thing more confusing than his fashion style. Before his run, he said he'd probably fail the first obstacle, but we're hoping that won't be the case as his run begins and he's onto the first step. And oh no! Guava's fears were realized as he misses the jump onto the second step. That is unfortunate, and his prediction becomes true. Up next to attempt the course is a familiar face in Roblox Ninja. This is Dr. Ninja 64. He's most known for his performance in Robloxian Ninja Challenge back in 2018, where he advanced all the way to the boot camp round. He hasn't been able to perform as well as he did since then, so he's hoping that this tournament will spark his renaissance. We all want to see Aspect succeed since his triumphs 4 years prior, and now it's his chance. We've only had one competitor through the second stage, and he can very well be our second. Aspect is now on his way onto the quintuple step and is swiftly moving his way through the obstacle in what's been the best attempt out of any competitor so far, and is now onto the Silk Slider, which is very similar to the downhill jump which he faced back in Robloxian Ninja Challenge. Although no! That experience does not help, and unfortunately he's unable to get a landing onto the obstacle, and he's out! Walking up to the start line is another notable name, with his competition being very well known in the community. This is Nail Dog, the host of Dog Ninja Warrior. Nail's competition ran for 3 seasons and had a Ninja vs. Ninja-esque competition as well. Recently, Nail's been getting back into Ninja, and with the revival of his competition in the works, a strong result could be the right push to turn Nail into an even more well-rounded figure in the community. He's got the skills to go far, but now it's his time to execute it. Nail, on the starting line as his countdown begins, and he is off. Nail's run begins, and he is sprinting through the quintuple steps like, oh no! Nail shockingly comes up short on the third step. That has to be such a heartbreaking fail for him. Our next competitor to attempt the course is Andreiko, 23, who hosts his own competition with Brayden Soul Survivor known as Broden and Eels Ninja Warrior. He's walking towards the course backwards, don't really know if that's really in his best interest as oh no! He turns around but it's not enough and he becomes yet another person to fail the quintuple steps. Up next on the course is Dipk Joe, a member of the rapidly expanding Big Penguin family. He's put in many strong results in other competitions, but as shown by many of our previous competitors, it doesn't seem like that experience is helping on this course. However, he's making good work at the quintuple step so far and is now on to the silk slider. We haven't seen a clear on this obstacle since the Ask Leader 11 runs ago, but looks like he's sliding down it smoothly and is now onto the dismount platform. He's sliding his way off of it and is now already on to the quarter bridge. He's been on an amazing pace so far, around 54 seconds remaining now as he approaches the quarter bridge. Using Scon's strategy before jumping on the platform so it doesn't tip pays off amazingly and is now onto the swinging force immediately and is now making his way through the obstacle. Navigating his way through the obstacle nicely and is now onto the dismount, getting a nice swing and is now off of it. He will now become the third competitor today to attempt the Sori Tatsukabe with around 33 seconds left. He doesn't get up on his first try, that's fine. He's going for a second attempt now on the wall, but he's once again turned back by it. This is now his third attempt. Stumbles a bit, but is fine as he almost gets up it there, but the wall rejects him at the last second. Now he's going on his fourth, and he makes it up, but time is slowly ticking down on him, and that fast pace is slowly being inched away as he climbs up the rope. Another stumble, but it's fine. It looks like he's going to get up the rope. The time limit isn't mattering as he clears. Dipk Joe becomes the second person to clear the first stage with 7.5 seconds remaining. Dip is moving on to the second stage. His fast pace throughout the first 4 obstacles truly came in handy when he took 4 attempts to scale the Sori Tatsukabe. Because of this, Dip was barely able to squeeze through the stage within the time limit, and now we'll be seeing him continue his journey of constant Seiya into the second stage. Nice job. Our next competitor is Misty Fun Girl 91, who has put in an insane amount of practice for this tournament. And with that, Misty's Robloxian debut has begun as she gets onto the quintuple steps, making sure to get onto the bottom of each step so she's in the right place to jump. Pays off, she's already onto the silk slider. She previously saw our friend Josh go on the silk slider, so she's hoping she doesn't join him, and it doesn't look like she will. Misty easily defeats the silk slider when it's been the quickest dismount so far and is now onto the quarter bridge. She's now going to get onto the obstacle nicely, but she is stunned heavily on that, but is through it. Just around 45 seconds are left as she's on to the swinging forest. Gets a nice mount onto the first set of ropes, is now making her way through. Oh no! Misty gets a bad mount onto the third set of ropes and it pushes her sideways and she is out. Misty looks to be pretty upset over that fail, as do many of her supporters. Listing his most failable obstacles is our next competitor, Teal Flip. Flip was a tester for a lot of Octagon Plus 1's games, and many of those obstacles are present here today. The countdown timer begins, and Flip is off. Flip said that he has a high chance of failing either the silk slider or the swinging forest, so we're all hoping he can beat both of them today. He's approaching the silk slider now as he gets into it, but in a climbing animation, but he's able to recover from that. Oh no! Flip undershoots the dismount of the silk slider. Flip provides an uncommon way of failing the obstacle, and unfortunately, his fears were realized this tournament, and he is agreeing with what he said earlier. Hopefully he'll be able to get his revenge next time. Up now on the course is Rocco23467, who has been very excited for doing a run this tournament. He's been practicing for a long time, and now it's his turn to attempt the course. Rocco is now on the course, and he gets relatively high on that step. And it causes him to miss it! Rocco completely undershoots the second step, and that's it for his run. Already on the starting mat is Lewis Gamer 33. He's got a retro-ish outfit going on with his hair and his face, so hopefully the fact that he's been on Roblox for a long time helps him on this course. His run begins and he approaches the first obstacle. He's a very large fan of Osu, considering his shirts and his pants. Lewis becomes yet another person to fail the first obstacle. The 11th of the day so far. As we move on to our next competitor, it's Ninja W. Considering the fact his username has Ninja in it and his display name is just Ninja, he should do well on this course. However, he doesn't want to add his name to the list of many who have failed the first obstacle, and it looks like he's taking a more cautious approach to avoid that. He's now to the 4th step, and it looks like it's paying off as he's through the quintuple steps and is now onto the silk slider. He's going to, he barely gets into the obstacle, but is now going to be sliding down the obstacle. Looks like, he doesn't get a good landing. Ninja tumbles into the water, and unfortunately, Ninja is unable to show his ninja capabilities, and we'll have to wait until next tournament to see them in action. And now, we're on to the 30th runner of the first stage, and he is a very well-known name in multiple communities. This is Addison Judah. Addison is known in the ninja world as the host of Judah Ninja Warrior, which ran for 3 competitions during 2021. Alongside his skill here, he has also built up a reputation in the Jukes Tower of Hell community, beating many of the hardest towers in that game. With all of this success, Addison is once again looking for another strong performance to add to his already impressive portfolio of results. Addison, now on the starting line with Raya Koto, who will be running later in the run order. Addison's countdown begins, and he is off, wasting no time getting into the quintuple steps, which looks like he is going to be blazing through. Amazing approach on the obstacle, and is now on the silk slider, which he has to regen, but is fine as he's now onto the obstacle. Now sliding down the track on the obstacle as he approaches the landing, which he gets on it nicely. Now trying to avoid making a simple mistake to close out the episode, but he makes it through nicely and is now on to the 3rd obstacle. He's now walking his way over to the obstacle and is nearing the start of it. He's immediately getting into it and uses both halves of the bridge, a risky method, but it works out as he runs towards the swinging forest. Taking a second to compose himself before jumping, he gets into the, oh no! Addison shockingly doesn't get onto the second rope, and he's out! Wow! If we look at the replay, Addison just simply didn't turn his character enough to the side to bridge the gap between the ropes, leaving him to come up short. And Addison, in a rare mistake, has fallen and will not be advancing to the 2nd stage, finishing this episode with a solemn defeat. And with that, day 1 of Robloxian SASUKE 1 has concluded. We saw 30 competitors try their hardest to beat the first stage, but nearly all weren't able to do so. The difficulty of the course proved to be too much for them as 28 plummeted into the waters below. We did, however, have 2 people advance onwards. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 and Dip K Joe will attack the remaining 3 stages on the 4th day of the competition. But first, we'll be seeing 40 more hopefuls begin their quest to join them. This field of talented athletes has more of Roblox's best competitors. This group of competitors does include Sonic Fan 10194, the host of Ninjas of Halo, the host of Robotic Sasuke, Robotic Pie, classic Robloxian Sasuke competitor AliDard1, and fan favorite competitor DJ Dilly. Them and 36 others next episode. Until then, this is Jamie Dorino signing off. We'll see you in the next episode of Robloxian SASUKE.